Let's talk some prospects. Is it time? Is it time to talk prospects? It's time for Kevin to wake up?
Yeah.
Well, let's do that right now. So, guys, there's been a lot of conversations about these Orioles prospects. Heston Kjerstad, would you be willing to give him up? And a lot of people are going, well, wait a minute. No, Heston looks really good right now. Well, we need pitching. Well, who are you going to give up? Who's available? So should we play a little game of who we believe is untouchable?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. I want you to raise your hand if you think he's untouchable. Okay?
Heston Kjerstad? Okay.
We're going to start right now. Zach.
Wait.
We're talking about this current at this trade deadline. Correct?
Okay, Zach, I'm borrowing this.
That's
Green or
those are mine.
well, who's ever.
That's mine. That's my avocardio shaker.
Green or red to yes, untouchable, no, untouchable.
So green.
I think just raise your hand if you're untouchable.
Yeah, I think that's easier, Kevin. But if you want to make this more challenging.
Yeah, we're going to make it fun.
Okay, so green is he's untouchable.
Yes.
Red means he can go.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, not he. That sounds a little rude.
Well, okay. Yes, he is available.
Yes.
There we go. Look at Kevin doing that. All right. So here we go. We'll start with this. Heston Kjerstad, untouchable or not?
Who gets the answer first?
Well, I have it on Kevin here. Okay. So
Was
Kevin
that
says untouchable.
untouchable?
He's untouchable.
I thought we were just raising our hand.
Okay.
For
You raise
untouchable.
your hand if you raise your hand if you think he's untouchable. Untouchable for Zach. Untouchable for Brad. I'm with you. I think it's across the board untouchable.
Breaking news.
Yep. Joe. Well, is that really breaking news with Joe?
That was the joke, Ryan.
Joe loves his Hawks. And his own as well. But this is
Jesus.
so anyway, Heston to me, and I told you guys this, I thought he was the best pure left-handed bat that could help the Orioles last year at the time coming up. And I think we were waiting for him to get more opportunities. I think Colton Cowser's a tremendous player. I think he is going to also still be in Baltimore because there's so much upside. I just think Heston Kjerstad's power and ability can rival a lot on the team. And we saw it now in the last week. It's been proven to people like, man, there's a reason why Heston Kjerstad was taken so high in the draft.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He looks like a guy that is an impact bat and impact player for this lineup, hopefully moving forward. So we're going to stay there. Now let's move to another player here. Go down the list. And maybe I think this is going to be an easy one, but I'll be curious. Kobe Mayo. Yep, I'm with you. Kobe's not going anywhere.
No.
I mean, dude's got 20 jacks, hitting 323, whatever it is.
Untouchable.
Untouchable. All right, Sam Basallo. Kevin makes it so damn hard. Okay, so you're saying Sam's touchable.
I think he can be on the table.
So he's available. He's available.
Well, I mean, I understand why you would want to keep him. But you have Adley behind the plate, and I just think that we could find another backup catcher. Basallo could be one of those. We'll get to the other one, I'm sure, that I think is also could be on the table, but for the same reasons, and I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, I'm saying Basallo could be tradable.
I'm very curious to see what the long-term plan is for Adley.
Yeah.
Whether it is catcher or they move him around a little bit. I don't know.
Where are they going to move Adley outside of catcher?
Well,
First base.
The DH?
First base and DH. And I think that Adley, if the goal is realistically for Adley, if you can have him catch for 5 more seasons consistently, that's very good. Getting past 30 and 32 to 33, how much is your body?
He's also only catching, 4 out of 7 games. I mean, James McCann is in that lineup, it feels like, at least 50% of the time. So,
well, it's DH a lot too.
Yeah, so that's why I think it's more. I think he and Adley become eventually. I put Basallo as more untouchable than Kjerstad in my mind. I think Kjerstad is expendable. You have a lot more talent coming up in the outfield, and Basallo, like you said, Ryan. I think after Adley, and it's nothing to do with against Adley, but Adley Rutschman, if he can catch for 5 more years, that's awesome. But we've seen catchers deteriorate over time, and that's why they're having him DH so much. I think Basallo is going to end up being the best bat of any of these prospects. I just think for what he's doing at 19 years old, he's just and it is very. I've seen a few people talk about it. You might not see him until 2026, and I think that's a very good possibility for Basallo solely because of how young he is.
Still only be 21.
Yeah, I just think with his just unreal hitting ability, he's got and another reason, and I don't know, this isn't really like stats, it's just something that I think subconsciously Elias thinks about. Basallo was their first big guy they signed from like the Dominican signing thing. So that was I remember international signing period. So yeah, that's another thing. I think maybe Mike's a little attached to Samuel because he's like, that was our first big get.
Yeah, I mean, for Sam Basallo right now, who's currently wondering, at 19 years old in Double-A right now, he has 11 home runs, OPS at 800, slugging 461, 13 doubles, and again, 19-year-old, where he's almost 5 years younger in the age gap for the average Double-A age. So it's a guy that I think is it fair to say, if we're to say a guy like Kjerstad or Basallo, if they go after a pretty top end, young, controllable pitcher, one of those guys is going to have to be in the deal.
Every one of them.
That would be fair to say. And in this case, Kevin. Oh, Kevin. Okay, back to the question.
What did you do?
I think he read the comments.
You did.
So anyway, back to the question here. All right, Jackson Holiday. Kevin. Untouchable. Untouchable. Oh, sugar.
Some things are just untouchable.
Some things aren't.
What has this show turned into? All right, here's an I think we I have an idea of where we're going with this, but Connor Norby. All right, available.
I forget that you're playing that game. I saw you raising your hand, and I was like, "Really, Kevin?"
No,
so,
yeah.
I think I expected all that, right? And Kyle Stowers, similar thought.
Yeah. A guy that I think we should talk about is Colton Cowser, because I still think he's in that. If he gets brought up, I think it's I don't necessarily think he's in the clear of he's not going to be offered.
Well, when I think of players that if they weren't on the team, how much of an impact would that make? Like a negative, how much of how much would you notice they're gone? And I mean, I don't mean this as the person, right? As the player. I think Cowser could be in that conversation.
Yeah, especially if Kjerstad keeps hitting
because of the depth. That's what I mean.
Yeah. And that was my whole argument with Basallo is like, I think Kjerstad will probably be the better player, but just there's so much outfield depth the Orioles have right now where
Well, I think is the actual conversation Heston versus Cowser instead of Heston versus Stowers.
Oh, well, I think Heston beats both of them probably, but
I think Heston is the most. I think Colton has the ability to be the overall all-around guy. Heston has the most power upside and offensive upside. I think that's
fair.
The part where it is. Personally, I don't think that I don't think Cowser goes anywhere. I don't think anyone here. I think that the Orioles have so many players that are at the lower levels. Honestly, I think that's where the moves are going to be. Where guys that maybe AA, AAA, like Norby could be a piece, and then have 2 or 3 spots that are very interesting. But then
I think Norby's almost certainly not going to be here.
Yeah,
and I hope so.
Yeah.
And
I want him to have a chance. Wherever that is, but he deserves
him
it.
And Stowers.
Yes.
Me and Kevin talked about this last night. I just, for their sake, I want them to be traded.
Yeah,
because we said this last night. If they trade Norby and Stowers in a package for a player, I will almost guarantee that the next day both of them are in the starting lineup for that major league team.
And there's so many big leaguers that are still in AAA right now for the O's that are playing on the Tides that could start anywhere else in the league. I mean, Dan Hall talked about that the other day about Kobe Mayo he's a starter on any other team if it wasn't in the Orioles organization.
Yeah,
right.
without a doubt.
And so this is the thing is I understand you can't keep all these young guys blue gold, and that's the part, but you're not going to give these guys away for anything. And that's why people keep saying Skubal. Oh, go get Skubal. Are the Tigers shopping him? No. I don't know, but if they are, you know how much it's going to cost? It's going to cost a lot more than Garrett Crochet.
It's going to cost the Jackson Holiday.
Well, and that was what me and Kevin have talked about and it's why I asked for this deadline. Are we talking untouchable? Because there's no one that I believe available starting pitcher wise at this deadline is worth giving up any of these guys. I think you can get guys who will maybe not be the big young star like Garrett Crochet, but the Jack Flaherty's, the Luis Severinos, the Eric Fetties, these guys are going to cost a lot less. They're not going to cost your top guy. And we saw it with Jordan Montgomery last year. He was the add-on. The Rangers went and got Max Scherzer. Then all of a sudden they got Jordan Montgomery and people were like, that's okay. At least you got Scherzer. That's a cool add-on. And Jordan Montgomery is one of the main reasons they made such a deep playoff run and then won the World Series because of how he pitched.
Yeah. What Jack Flaherty's ERA is low threes right now? Yeah. Quality pitcher.
Yeah. He's got good stuff. You take chances on guys with good stuff. They took a chance on Jack Flaherty and Fuji last year. Oh, my heart.
Fuji.
I miss him.
I miss him. What a vibe. And if you didn't know if the ball was going to the backstop or he's going to strike out the side. But
you were damn good doing it.
You lived for the moment there.
He reminds me of what was it, Earthworm Jim? Remember that game? He just looked like his arm just looked like it wasn't attached to his body.
It was just controlled chaos at all times. Not really even controlled. There was just a lot of chaos.
I think just chaos is a better way to describe it.
103 miles an hour, man.
And how about this? This leads into it. And Justin, you almost beat me to this. And this leads into the factor crap situation here.
I wasn't done talking prospects. We can move on.
No, come on, Kevin. You got the
Cade Povich.
Well, yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't think
Chase McDermott.
Oh, well, I'll be honest with you. I don't think they give up any
I just don't think
pitchers right now.
I would say Seth Johnson would be the guy.
Seth
Johnson would be the guy.
Okay.
I could see the throw-in be Seth, not throwing, but
here's my opinion right now. I think the Orioles, if they trade any pitching prospects, like higher up pitching prospects, AA or higher, it would be in the offseason.
Yeah.
I don't think they make any move because they do not have the depth to do that. If anyone else goes down, they literally have to go and sign guys. Off of
Spencer Watkins.
Spencer Watkins, and there's a deal right now.
I was just gonna say
the deal right now is he exercised a clause in his contract that he wants to be added to a 40-man, and now other teams get the opportunity to pluck him off the Rochester Red Wings, but they must add him to their 40-man. So that's an interesting one. Could there be a reunion?
That'd be cool.
And will we have Spencer Watkins on if that happens?
Without a doubt.
You're damn right.
Oh my God, yeah.
Waddy's such a great guy. But again, like the point being, that's where you're at. And we already talked about this, and I know that people go on about with the whole Trevor Bauer situation. And look, when we've talked about this, I feel like people come at it personally. It's almost like
we're not saying that we're not attacking him personally. We're giving our opinion on what we actually think will happen.
We think what the Orioles are going to do.
Or the MLB in general.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Tim Kirchner was just like, I just don't see it happening. Wasn't that, no, Trevor is an asshole. He's not
or no, he's not talented.
Yeah,
it's not any
he
of that.
just said, I don't see it happening.
Correct. So in that case, that's the thing what we talked about. I said why I didn't think the Orioles would sign Trevor Bauer is because new ownership coming in for the first time. It's a lot of PR to take on. Trevor Bauer also has his own media on top of it. And because of MLB situation with Trevor, that's why I think it's not going to happen. And then on top of it, if they don't win the World Series, your team is going to have a lot of stress on it. And that's where we don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, think about what happens to your culture if one thing goes wrong and then it's immediately on YouTube for millions of people to see. Because that's what Bauer does. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's what's worked for him. That's why so many people are talking about him. But does your ball club want something like that? Probably not. If I had to take a guess.